does anybody have a favorite alien moment that they want from any of the films? I'll open it up to any of the films because we're getting close to closing this out. So does anyone have like any moment that just resonated with them, like, oh my gosh, or that was, because you and I are kind of the same with, hey man, that's inside the room, you know, so is there anything else you want to talk about?
So I'd say the only other moment that I have that just really always resonates, or I always remember, is basically when you see, I think it was an alien, when she's in the room getting the suit on, trying to escape, you see the alien kind of hit up in the pipes, because
you don't notice it.
You don't notice it. I mean, it's so subtle until you actually see the alien maybe make a small move or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, it's right there. You just don't see it until that. I mean, the sheer thought of it being so well hidden in plain sight was just a phenomenal scene for me. So that one really stands out in my head. Ronnie? Didn't do it.
Thank you, appreciate that.
So I think I have two, I was thinking about it. I think there are two moments in the whole, franchise. They all land in the movie Alien that are my favorite two moments. And I've already talked about one, and that was the reveal of Ash being a what they call them? Like,
They're just androids.
Androids?
Synthetics.
Yeah, something like that.
He prefers
So,
artificial person. That's right. For artificial person.
The purposes, we're not get into that. But the moment they revealed him as a robot was again, I've already talked about it, I won't go into it, that just kind of blew me away. The other part was when they're in the actual in the Juggernaut, and they're walking around and they get to the eggs, it kind of so just the background, the whole set of being inside that chamber, and then seeing seeing the size and scale of everything with the jockey sitting there, and it's just like, what in the hell's going on? Yeah. So then he goes down and sees these eggs, and they're touching through the laser, the special effect that they did, and it makes that little noise when he puts his hand through it and whatnot. And then the reveal of the egg, that nasty crack, when it opens up. And then you look down inside the thing, and then they had real guts.
Yeah,
they had almost like chicken
guts,
or something.
Yeah.
They had some kind of real guts that they used to make that, when it opens up, you can see that film kind of move around something, it's like, that was real. I mean, I would have sworn, I would have sworn my life on the fact that we were looking at real stuff.
And it was instantaneous. It wasn't like, it's been hibernating for thousands of years. It was like, oh, you break the laser? It's ready to go.
Exactly. That thing just, that nasty, it opens up and he looks down in it and see that stuff going on, and then suddenly, boom, pops in his face. Yeah, that's my favorite moment.
Well, I'm going to talk about my favorite moments, but to add to that, thanks to that movie, I'm not looking at anything. I'm not looking at anything that opens up. I'm not looking down. You go look down there. I'm not doing it. But so one of my favorite, I have two. One that's going to surprise a lot of people. One of my favorite alien moments is similar to the one you said about her being in the chamber. Again, since we all saw this on HBO or on a 27-inch TV, if we were lucky to have one that big, it wasn't until Blu-ray and our newer TVs, and we got and plus the film stock back in the late 70s, early 80s was just awful, and they've gone in, they've cleaned it all up. The scene when, here kitty, here kitty, and Brett's going in there and he looks, and he's looking around, the damn alien is hanging right above him.
Right.
When he looks up, and I'd never noticed it. I mean, it wasn't until I got the Blu-ray.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, it's hanging right there. Of course, in the theater, you don't know what the thing looks like. Right. So the first time you see the film, if you don't know what the alien is, you don't notice either. And that's what was so brilliant. Like, oh my God, the thing is hanging right there. It is hanging right there, and you don't even notice it. So that's similar to the one you talked about. It's the way the thing always kind of hides in plain sight. And there's a moment in Aliens like that too, when they kill I think the lady that has then they flame the lady who has the chest burster, and then all of a sudden the walls start moving. It's like, they were sitting right there, you didn't even know it. Another favorite alien moment of mine, which is going to shock a lot of people, because we all have these great moments. We talked about the scanners and everything, is the funeral scene from Alien 3. The way it's edited. You've got, they're doing this funeral.
The dog.
Actually the ox. The ox roaster. Yeah, my preference is the Alien 3, not the director's cut. What do they call it? Special edition. Yeah, because David Fincher didn't take any part of it, so it's not a director's cut. But yeah, so there's they're having this funeral for Hicks and Newt, And Charles Dutton is saying this about, in the shadow of death, we have the hope of new life. And when he's talking, and what's supposed to be this positive, uplifting about, yes, life is ending, but there's always new life being born, is the alien busting out of the ox. It's this intricate thing, and it's like, wow, this is really, there's moments of that film where you really get an idea of what they were trying to do and what it could have been. Jay, what's your favorite alien moment there?
Well, the entire movie of Alien.
That's a good answer, sir. That's the best answer we've gotten all day.
I love the moments that just seem so real. So as a mechanic, I do love the down below scene with the mechanics working on stuff and talking crap about, but she's going to come right down. What's she going to do? That scene between them and how Sigourney comes in and the interaction, how he's kind of tormenting her and turn the steam on, just being an antagonist. I just loved it. I thought that was just so funny, so real.
Yes, very real.
All the scary scenes of the movie were great. You brought out the how the ship looked when they're going in there, and then of course the seat and what is this thing? The sheer size and scope of it, and that just blew me away. As far as I do have another one, Aliens. I love it when everything goes to hell, and the guy that needs to be making a decision isn't making a decision. He's freaking out, and he turns into this nice little lady boy that can't do nothing right and can't make.
Classic.
Everybody is dying. Okay, Sigourney grabs the bull by the horns, gets everything going, gets the people that she can't save, drives them like a bat out of hell, tears the shit out of the truck, and I just love that scene. That scene is always one of my favorite scenes to watch when I'm watching Aliens.
And it doesn't hurt that James Horner is on his game right there.
Oh yeah, and of course, it's a badass truck.
Yeah.
How can you not love this thing? It is a
NPC.
freaking tank. It can do anything. It's just massive. It's got awesome guns, armament.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love the guns.
You gotta love it.
More killing. Gotta have more guns.
I've got 3 favorite moments.
Okay.
The first one is when we realize that alien has a second set of teeth.
Oh yeah.
It smiles, and it's a shaky smile, and the saliva and the water's dripping down, and it's just looking like, here it comes.
Yeah.
And then, it pops out. And that was just like, what? How? It's already scary enough.
Yeah.
You got the tail, and you got the claws, and you got the regular mouth, and now you just up the game even more. Second favorite scene was when Sigourney gets in that caterpillar loader suit.
Oh yeah.
Get away from her, yeah. It raises up, and all you see, you hear the boots.
Yeah.
And it raises up, and you're just like, what? First of all, the marketing, to get Caterpillar to sign off on any of that stuff, because I worked with them, so it's almost impossible. It's like Disney to get
Oh, really?
for anything. So let them have the logo and be yellow and be everything that resembles, modern day. Now we're in the future in space, and it's still
It added the credibility.
Yeah,
It tied it
much
to real
more
life.
legitimate.
It makes it like, oh man, this actually could be real. I mean, it brings a sense of
I mean,
realism.
it's the sound of the hydraulics and everything. Like you said, that suit was perfectly made, and the sound effects, everything.
Yeah, everything about it.
Wasn't that a classic? That was a Phil Tippett creation, right?
The model.
The
for
model,
that,
yeah. So
And it worked. I mean, just the simple blowtorch on there. I mean, it's just like, it wasn't overdone, like, Gatling guns or everything on there. It was just a blowtorch and some, some forks that open and close and things like that. And then the last scene that was my favorite was when she's falling back in her lava, Ripley, and she gives birth.
Right.
And she holds it like a baby. It's like, we're done now. I'm
Yeah.
taking my baby.
And that's where it should have been.
And I'm going home, and this is So to me, that was a very good closing on it. So I'll pass it off to you.
Alright, I've got a few. I don't know how to rank them because they're all pretty good. Hudson's death.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We won't ask you to quote any of those things. Although your dad may not care, he may be proud.
No.
Mom.
Mom.
Probably the chest burster.
The first time.
it's the original.
Well, yeah. I didn't see it the first time I watched the movie.
Well, right. Because that made you turn your head. But yes, when you eventually did see him
Point.
on it.
Touche.
When you did see eventually, yes.
Take that, child services.
Have all of us seen the director's cut of Alien?
Of Alien? Yes.
Okay, so it helped to see that Dallas didn't actually get killed in the tunnel, but rather got cocooned and he got torched by Ripley. I guess is how you say it.
Well, and what I liked about the fact that they added that back in is it ties into the rest of the mythology from the other movies now. You know, it's like Ronnie said, Alien was not supposed to meant to be a franchise starter. It was just supposed to be a really good movie.
Right.
And which, by the way, I think Hollywood could learn a lot of lessons from that. Don't worry about starting a franchise. Make me a good movie, and then we'll talk about it.
Right.
But that scene was cut out for time because I think Ridley Scott felt that once she starts, because the thing that's so brilliant about Alien, the last 20 minutes of that film, there is no dialogue other than Mother. You now have 4 minutes to evacuate. You can probably do it better than I can. But it's basically the alarms and her running through that ship, and that's it. And so Ridley Scott, I guess when they were getting into editing, he looked at that scene, he felt like, man, I've got the tension ratcheted up, and she stops and basically has this conversation with Dallas as he's cocooned. He's like, he just felt that it ruined the tension. But then after Aliens came out, he kind of revisited that. That builds on the mythology, so that's one of the reasons he put it back in. So that's a great call. I'm glad you brought that up because I totally forgotten about that.